Hello, and welcome to Psyched for Sanity. I'm one of your hosts, Dr. Brindle Doss. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist specializing in forensic psychology, child trauma treatment, assessment, and geriatric psychology.
And I'm Dr. Tara McKelvey Parker. I'm also a licensed clinical psychologist. I specialize in treating and assessing complex trauma and attachment wounds from childhood. And guess what I'm doing with my life right now?
That could go so many directions, but I have no guess. I'm on the edge of my seat.
You should be. I am learning how to reupholster furniture.
Whoa, that's cool. I feel like that's really like hip of you. You're always very cool.
Hip and cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like to do crafty DIY things.
Yeah.
When I was in grad school, we had like a 4-day snowstorm and I was basically locked in my apartment.
Sounds like a dream.
And I got a bunch of paint that I had some paint from previous projects, and I just like painted all my cabinets and stenciled them. I painted my dining room table. It was actually really impulsive and the wrong kind of paint, and it was not a good idea, but it was fun. I've made pillows before.
I love that.
Yeah, so now I'm reupholstering furniture.
See, your tidbit for today is like exciting and new and fun, and mine is just. So this is my my tidbit for today, or my fun fact.
What's your tidbit?
I get very intensely emotional when I watch track and field.
Train document. I thought you were going to say train documentary.
No, I do. No, I don't get intensely emotional. Track and field and gymnastics make me just really, really emotional.
Okay.
Like in a good way. Like I'm just so proud of them and I'm so happy.
Like specifically just track and field, though,
And gymnastics.
Why those two?
I don't know, but they've worked so hard.
It's oddly, weirdly specific.
I can't help how I was made.
Okay, well, it's sweet. You have
It's not
you
bad
have
emotion,
empathy,
but
you
it's like,
feel for all of
you
their
know what I
hard
mean?
work
It's like
and
watching someone
effort.
graduate. Oh, graduations too.
Okay.
Yeah, but track and field, like sports related, track and field, just man.
Track and field. It feels very random, but I mean, okay.
On brand.
It's on brand. It sounds like very lovely and empathic and well regulated of you.
Regulation is hard. And finding a way to regulate yourself and then helping other people regulate themselves is really tricky. Like especially our kids.
Kids, yeah, patience.
Yes.
Definitely challenging. That kind of brings us to our topic for today. We're always talking about parenting and, on the job and also personally. And we were talking about co-regulation. It's one of these concepts that I think is out there a lot.
Right.
It's kind of a buzzword, but it's hard to know what it actually means.
Right.
And it's really important.
Yeah, why it matters.
Like for healthy
All
child
that.
development.
Yeah.
So co-regulation is this idea that a person's nervous system can settle into safety through connection with another person. And we're going to talk about it mostly in like a parent-child context today. But if you think about that, it happens all the time with friends, romantic partners.
Sure.
So it's this idea that kids in particular, it's really important for their development, actually, healthy co-regulation.
Yeah.
Before they are able to calm themselves or to self-soothe.
Right.
They have to be calmed with.
Yeah. I think that co-regulation matters so much because when a baby is born, when an infant is born, we know they're completely helpless and dependent on us for being clean, dry, fed, warm, things like that. But we don't always realize that the first 5, 6, 7, 8 years, they're also relying on us to learn how to manage their strong, intense emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's a brain-based experience where they literally cannot do that within their brain and body.
Yeah,
when
they do not have the capacity.
No, they don't have the capacity whatsoever.
No.
And they learn that through modeling and being with that person from us. I think you used a phrase once when we were talking, they borrow the regulation from us, the way we are regulated.
Kids borrow calm from caregivers.
Yes.
Essentially.
Right.
So because their prefrontal cortex is not at all developed.
No.
I think what's the statistic? Like until late maybe late childhood.
Late childhood. So, and I think it also depends on the child to a degree.
Yeah.
And, but I mean, maybe around 9, 10, 11, but really 11, 12 is when they can sometimes independently regulate. But if you think about it, that's a whole decade when they're looking to you to how to manage their big feelings.
Well, and also just to throw a little wrench in there, around 12,
Oh, yeah, 12.
there's a huge period of brain pruning. And of course, hormonal fluxes. So once those kiddos in like 9, 10, 11,
Right.
sort of time frame are able to sort of kind of regulate their emotions independently. And this is if they have had healthy co-regulation, right. For the first portion of their life. And healthy too, I do want to say is like 30 to 50% of the time. Like no parent is perfect. Like we're not going to be able to co-regulate and help our kids manage their big feelings.
You mentioned the word pruning, and I don't want people to confuse it with gardening.
Basically, I mean, the brain goes back under construction around the age of 12.
Idea. Okay.
And so then big feelings just spike some more. And then, 12, 13 adolescents, they kind of regress and lose their capacity to be able to self-soothe.
Right, because it's a new chapter.
Exactly.
With hormones and everything else.
Yeah. So you kind of have like this entire time period, until a kid is like 9-ish, where they're essentially primarily reliant on you to help co-regulate when they're under periods of stress and big feelings. And then they kind of get it for a little bit. And then they hit adolescence and it's like, everything hits the fan again and they need you.
Parenting is so hard.
Parenting's real hard.
And exhausting because we're talking about co-regulating. And within that, we haven't directly mentioned, which I think we always need to, that the parent needs to be regulated to regulate the child.
Yeah, yes, for sure. So co-regulation is super, super important, right? Because basically in that the adult has to be well regulated and calm.
Right.
So that their nervous system feels calm.
Yep.
Right. And so then the kid borrows that calm from them. It's really like an easy-ish concept, right? Like
so hard in life, though.
Right. I tell parents, like when they're talking about tantrums and big feelings and dysregulation and they're doing all the things to try to get their kid to feel better, I'm like, stop. Don't do any of that. Do less. If you're going to do one thing, breathe. Breathe yourself. Focus on calming yourself because that will naturally sort of lend a calmness to the kid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, when a kid is dysregulated, their body is asking one thing, and it is, am I safe?
Am I safe?
Safety is felt first before it's understood. It's felt when another person is able to stay calm in connection when they're having really big feelings.
Right. That kind of reminds me of when you're mentioning that, like kind of there are things that we do that we think are helpful, things that we think are going to like calm them down or get them to stop. Really? That's what we want them to stop. Let's be honest. And that's okay. That's a normal, I think, reaction for a parent. But there are things that we do. There are things that we do that make it a little bit harder for them to co-regulate with us. That number one is talking too much. Like you said.
Yes, asking questions.
Asking questions.
How are you okay? What happened? Are you mad?
Use your words.
Yeah, so any kind of logic or explanation, like, use
well-intentioned.
Well-intentioned.
But not helpful.
Not helpful. And it's not bad, but it essentially, like, when a kid is dysregulated, their logical brain is not online at all. So if a kid could use their words when you ask them to, they would use their words. Kids are not trying to be
jerks on purpose.
Right. When they are dysregulated, they do not have any capacity to control how they are behaving or how they're feeling. So the logic, while like it makes total sense, you would want to be like, but it's not a big, like you have that toy to play with. You don't need that toy that your brother took from you. A kid who's dysregulated is like, that is going to like probably rocket them up.
Right.
Some more in intensity.
Yeah. Other things that will make it harder for them to regulate with you and that are generally less helpful, bargaining.
Threatening.
Yeah, negotiating.
Yeah. If you
to make it over quicker.
Yeah. If you don't stop that right now, we're leaving.
Yeah.
That
If you calm down, I'll buy you this.
yes, stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. Demanding calm when a kid is not calm. So this one is a little bit more sneaky because all of these are well intentioned, but sometimes
Course.
parents will, say, okay, take a deep breath. Even if delivered kindly, can sometimes
Yeah.
have like unintended negative consequences because it is very hard for a child to take deep breaths when they're dysregulated.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to take deep breaths when I am
Sure.
dysregulated. And so the better strategy really is
Yeah.
for you to take a deep breath
Yeah.
and to model the deep breath.
Yep.
And to get your nervous system, your own nervous system, back to calm and safety. And then, the kid then borrows that calm and safety. And then they also learn,
What to do.
From
They
sort of
internalize it.
a more modeling
Yeah.
standpoint.
Talked a lot about what I do with my kid, and what that works with my kid may not work for you with your kid. And I started when she was very, very little, more in a sense to help with the regulation process and just. But I literally have her hands, and I say, "Are you ready to breathe with me?" And we raise her hands up so she knows to breathe in, and then to breathe out. And I will model and say, Mom is not calm right now. I really need to calm my body. Can you give me space? Can you give me space? And when I feel calm, then I can be with her and say, what do you need? If you don't know, that's okay. I'm here. Every kid is different. I think we've talked about this. Your kid is different than my kid, and what they need is different. Mine wants to be up on me and let me hold her until she is completely comfortable and to say gentle things to her.
Yeah.
Versus yours.
Yeah. Well, and just to go back, I really like your example about breathing because it is different than what I described. Less helpful is telling your kid to take a deep breath.
Right.
More helpful is being involved in that process.
We do everything with her.
Right. So you are touching her, which skin on skin, right? Co-regulating.
Yeah.
Your daughter is borrowing your calm. When you're unable to be calm,
right,
you're breathing with her.
Yeah.
So that is a really good example.
It really connects us and makes things
of co-regulation. So the breathing, requesting breathing, and in general is not bad. It's just how it's done and how effective it can be based on what is the priority. Because a parent who is saying take a deep breath, who wants the tantrum to end, right?
So understandable, though.
Understandable. That's different than a parent who is, sort of together in connection, requesting the breathing.
Yeah.
Because the priority is co-regulation, right? And to be with that kid in connection and presence.
Sure.
So that's really, really important, in talking about what to do. Presence, connection, right? Safety through connection. It's not what you say. And again, like going back to a lot of times what I tell parents when they're trying to manage these episodes, it is like do less. Our job is not to end the tantrum.
Right.
It's not to end the meltdown. It's not to fix it.
It's to bear witness and be with them.
It is to be with them from a grounded, regulated, warm, but boundaried place.
What would that look like?
This is really hard. This is the hard part.
Yep, that's why we're here.
This is the really hard part. Yeah, so for me, I slow down. So I have to calm myself down first when my daughter is having a really big meltdown.
Yes.
So the way I do that is I usually will take a few steps back.
Okay.
In the room with her. Stay present if possible in the same space. Don't leave. But a lot of times these kiddos do. Well, right. We'll talk about unless you have to, because we've both been there.
Absolutely, we have.
But just in a simpler form.
Sure.
Take some beats back. Usually, my daughter wants space, right? But she doesn't want me to leave.
No.
So I will speak softly. Say less. Okay. With her, I will turn my body like 45 degrees from her and look down. She doesn't want to be looked at.
And you're usually lower to the ground.
I'm usually on the
You're
ground.
not standing over her.
Yeah.
Right,
I'm
right.
on the ground. I'm a little bit away.
Sure.
Angled down. She gets ramped back up when I say much. So in general, I would suggest, slowing down, less words, breathing yourself, stating what you see rather than questioning. So you're really upset. I get it.
Observing and describing.
If your child can tolerate it.
Right.
Okay. Mine cannot. If I say even the gentlest, most empathic, the other day, I think I was nodding my head, just sort of like trying to give her this, and she was like, stop it. Don't look at me. Some kiddos like mine, it's
Right.
very sensitive. And these like spirited, highly sensitive kids are easily embarrassed and ashamed. So you look at them and it flares the dysregulation because they feel a deep sense of shame.
Right.
So I look away. Some kids won't require that necessarily. And you can say every 30 seconds, you're mad. This is so hard. I'm here. But less words equals better.
Yeah.
And the goal is to stay calm and to let the wave ride, right?
Right.
That teaches them, the more you're able to do that, what safety feels like.
Right.
In their bodies, right? Safety. That emotions are survivable.
Yes, you can handle whatever you're happening to you. You can handle this feeling.
Yeah, and that connection does not disappear in hard moments.
Right.
So
I'm not going to abandon you when you're having a big feeling.
Exactly, right. And so if we're like focused on teaching, right, or lecturing or fixing or making it go away,
they
don't get to learn, the kids don't get to learn these lessons.
Yeah.
Not as reliably, that like I can survive these big feelings. And that is what I get passionate about this, because I do think so many mental health diagnoses really boils down to a lack of really being able to self-soothe.
Yeah.
Like regulate emotion.
We have an episode coming out about that in the future for sure.
Yeah. And so I'm just like, it's so important to teach these kiddos that they can have these epic meltdowns and they will come down on their own. They ride the wave. They'll come down on their own with...
Feelings won't last forever.
They don't last forever. Yeah. They're survivable. And in fact, I'm here with you while you're going through this, and I'm not trying to make it go away because it's not dangerous.
And I'm also not trying to make it about me or my needs.
Right.
It's about what you need right now.
Right.
Now that's an ideal situation, right? That's
this
ideal.
Is best case scenario.
That
and then
doesn't always happen.
They ride the wave and they run to you and they're like, "You're the best mommy ever," and
that's
I love you so much.
That doesn't. She's pretending. That doesn't happen all the time.
No, that never happens. I'm saying that would be ideal. I would love that. You. Yeah, that doesn't happen.
No, it's rocky and uncomfortable, and I make mistakes. I absolutely lecture. I absolutely use too many words. And sometimes I have to, in the process, remind myself, oh, wait, regulate me first, and then I can be with her. And when I can really focus on that.
Well, yeah. And this is the hardest part for me. So I'm able to start this out like pretty decently, like a good amount of the time. Those parts are easier for me, but the boundaries piece, for me, like getting myself regulated when she does get ramped up, because I don't always start out well. Like I do the things I don't need to do as well. I get, when I'm dysregulated, really pushy and can be kind of controlling, and that, exacerbate. I can't be in a good place for her, like, and calm. And so then, it can get, and she, my daughter will get physical. She can get physical when she is really dysregulated.
Some kids do.
Some kids, I think a lot of them do. The highly sensitive ones, they do more than others. Yay. And so scratching, biting, kicking, that kind of thing, when that starts.
That's when the boundaries need to come in.
That's when the boundaries with warmth. So this is the hardest part for me. But it's so important. When she starts hitting me, it is incredibly hard for me to stay warm.
Shocker.
Right? Like someone is hitting me.
Yeah, that's a huge trigger for me too.
It's a huge trigger. I think every person who's
yes. Most human people.
Most human people. And so like And I have this thing, right, about abandoning my child. I don't want to leave.
Yep.
But 2 things. A, if I cannot stay regulated, I am not creating safety for my child.
I'm not safe.
And it is better for me to leave than to stay in that room
temporarily
and try to help her.
Yes.
B, safety comes from rupture and repair, leaving and coming back. Coming back. We always come back.
Absolutely.
So when she starts to go really kind of nuts, then I have to go. You know, if I am taking my space and she is coming at me.
Yeah, that's my problem.
You know, like I will sometimes try like a pillow barrier.
That's a good suggestion.
And that can help when it's like mid-level. But when it is like really heightened, I have to leave.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of times, and luckily she's not usually at this point a danger to herself.
Yes.
You know, I would not leave her if she were.
Or in a dangerous situation.
In a dangerous situation, or if she were hitting herself or biting herself,
right,
which she has done, I will stay in the room and I will gently try to hold her hands. You know, I got to keep you safe, honey. And my empathy usually comes back online if that's it's easier for me to be, I'm like, I don't want my, you know, kid to hurt herself. It's easier to be warm in that space. Yeah. But if it's directed at me, you know, and we're not able to use like a kind of barrier, then I usually will leave. I will usually go on the other side of the bedroom door and sit against it so she can't open it. And I will say, honey, I need a minute to calm down so that I can come back and help you.
Right.
And then I breathe or sometimes frantically consult AI about what I should do and what I should say.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
No, we're not going to lie. We're honest here. It's Psyched for Sanity.
What do I do?
What do I do? And I think, you know, for me, I've learned it takes me a good solid 2 to 3 minutes. And when I don't really, 2 to 3 minutes can feel like, it's when it sounds like, oh, that's a short amount of time. When you're in the moment of distress, it feels like a really long time.
When your kids over in the other room, it's terrible.
Yes, and when they're extremely dysregulated.
Yeah.
But I've learned that if I come back out and try to help and co-regulate before I'm ready, it's just going to spike it again.
Well, because you can't, because the whole point, folks, is that co-regulation is your nervous system is calm, and that's what the kid borrows to be calm. So if you are not calm, any words, strategies,
all out the window.
It kind of doesn't fall correctly. Because the kid doesn't feel the calm. They feel it. That's why sometimes when parents try to say words, but they're frustrated.
Or fix things.
It's like, right? Like it's so important that you come back and you are as calm as possible.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes I have to leave multiple times.
And they're also like, we're, you know, adult human people, and we have jobs and we have, you know, expectations and places to be and deadlines and timelines. And so these meltdowns are rarely when you have free time.
No,
when you can just sit and let that emotion ride. So the reason you're pushing is because you've got to be somewhere. You've got things.
Oh, well, yes. I have major time rush urgency.
I think we want to talk about, you know, yes, there's the ideal situation, but sometimes we're going to make missteps because of the world's constraints and what we need to get done. And that's
yes, and you
tricky.
Can't always do this.
Right. You can't, the ideal scenario, you don't have time all the time for that.
You don't, and with multiple kids.
Or like maybe the stove is on.
Yeah, you have to go.
Maybe the doorbell is being rung at this time for the delivery man that you've been waiting 7 hours for.
Right.
Those things,
exactly.
That's real life. That's what happens.
Sometimes I have to make my daughter get in her car seat, and she really doesn't. And she's screaming her head off, and I have to hold her in there while I put her in her car seat because I don't have time, to
let her
sit
have
with
this
her and
perfect cascade.
I have to get in the car. We have to go to work.
So where's the hope that people can find when they can't do it perfect? What's the key ingredient that comes at the end that will hopefully still allow that wave to naturally cascade?
I think, so the wave, you know, in an ideal situation, like what we're describing, you know, we eventually are calm enough and the wave rides and the kid calms and you can feel the calm back. The kid's able to get to the other side and move on with the day, the night. Great. That means you did phenomenal. wonderful. But when you don't always have time for that, right?
Right.
And you make a misstep or a mistake, repair.
That's it.
Always.
Repair, repair, repair.
It's always about repair. There's lots of times I don't do this right. And I, really beat myself up
Sure.
for it. And then I remember that secure attachment is
Yes.
built on rupture and repair, leaving and coming back.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so it is always important. And we've talked about repair on other videos.
We have, because it's so critical for so many
we
different
can always
elements.
do another one really on repair and what that looks like and what that means
Sure, we can.
logistically. But yeah, I mean, just if you're going to take away and, try one of these things that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Again, the attachment research says if you can do these things like 30 to 50% of the time, right, we're really
Right.
on our way to building secure and healthy attachment with our
Yeah.
kiddos.
And learning independently to regulate. And that's where before I think we kind of put a bow on things. I think there's some kind of misconceptions
Oh, about
about co-regulation.
Well, I think, yeah, like one in particular, we live in a society that really, I think, prioritizes, maybe rewards independence.
Right.
And so there's a lot of, I don't know about you, but I do get scared sometimes that I'm doing her a disservice by,
Helping her do this.
being so present or like maybe there's a fear about dependency or she won't actually be able to do it on her own one
Right,
day.
that she's going to need you when she's like 37 to like regulate her.
well, and really though, if you think about it, we all do. We all need other people to help us regulate our emotions, even as adults. It never
Right.
actually goes away. It's a human need. The idea though for our kids is
Yes.
that they're just able to do it more independently
Over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they trust that connection is safe, right?
Right.
To help with regulation,
Absolutely.
to go to with their emotional experiences. So
Whatever they may be.
in a secure attachment relationship,
Mm-hmm.
when dependency, when met as consistently as possible,
Mm-hmm.
breeds real independence.
So they feel more confident,
Yeah.
more comfortable, and
Yeah.
more able to kind of go out.
To explore freely their environment,
Yeah.
because they can come back to you.
Because you know they're there. Because they know you're there.
Yeah, safe base, right?
Huge.
In attachment language. So that breeds, this confidence and security to explore their environment, to explore themselves.
So
And
even
that's
though
what
the
we want.
misconception might be that, oh, my kid's going to need me, quote, to calm them down every time they're upset, what's actually going to happen is they're going to be better at calming themselves down
Mm-hmm.
and then coming to you when they absolutely have to or need to,
Mm-hmm.
for those moments of real stress or struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And
just don't lose heart because this happened, like we
Right.
said, like 9, 10, year. It's
a
our
decade
kids
of
rely
helping them
on
learn
us heavily for
how
this
to
kind of
ride the
thing.
wave of emotion. And I
Exactly.
think, I do feel like in many ways with research and in like, honestly, like day-to-day Western culture,
Mm-hmm.
I do think this concept is newer,
Mm-hmm.
more within our lifetimes.
Yeah, for sure. That's
And I
true.
think that sometimes there might be a parent out there or an adult or a grandparent out there or an aunt or uncle that you didn't get this experience that we're describing in childhood.
Yeah.
And so, if that is a struggle, we have a couple other episodes we've talked about regulation and what that looks like and how to do that.
Yeah.
And how
Yeah.
important that is.
More to come. I think this is big. This is one of my passion.
Well, we
Yeah.
love to talk about your passions here. Your passions are important to me.
Passions and my furniture reupholstering.
Yes.
And your tears.
And I'm allowed to
with
cry
track
when
and
someone
field.
crosses the finish line.
Yes, of
It's
course.
normal and it's okay. And they worked really hard for that. And they sacrificed time and they got up really early in the cold. Did you not watch the package before the run?
Okay. So if any of you guys are track and field enthusiasts,
I'm a big fan.
she's a really big fan over here.
What did you take away from this conversation about regulation and how to co-regulate with our children?
I think it's a good reminder for me. Yeah. I get in my head and the narrative is that I'm not doing good enough, or that I'm like, failing
Right.
my kid or that I need to be doing more. But I think after having the conversation, it reinforces for me that less is more
Yes.
and that I just have to keep focusing on being calm when my daughter is struggling so that she can feel safe in her
Yeah.
and our feelings.
I think I'm taking away a reminder that the thing that the child in saying but not saying with words, am I safe? Am I okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the reminder that there's just feelings that need to ride that wave, that it's not up to me. It is ultimately not up to me to control that feeling.
Mm-mm.
So that's kind of
Bear
what I'm
witness.
taking away.
Yeah, good.
Bear witness, be present, calm ourselves, regulate our own nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Till next time.
See you then. This podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for therapy, diagnosis, or any kind of professional mental health treatment. We hope that we can share with you our experience authentically and genuinely, and we hope that occasionally we'll make you laugh. Maybe you can relate to our quest and how we're psyched for sanity. The content we share is our personal opinions and insights. They are not clinical insights to anyone, and they don't represent or reflect any entity that we work and or have worked for in the past. But if listening to this podcast has made you think, we really encourage you to seek out a mental health professional in your area.